Aloha and welcome back. I have started to take out my tiki shirts, take some to the dry cleaners, whatnot. Even though it's spring, you wouldn't really know it because yesterday there was snow. Can you believe it? It's the end of March, we're almost into April, and we still see snow. It wasn't a lot, but it was coming down pretty fierce. None of it stuck, but it looked like blizzard-like conditions for like a short time anyway. I don't know, for about an hour. Anyway, enough about that. Today, since it's still a little chilly, we are going to do a Scotch drink. Scotch drinks are very rare, but they're smoky, and they're not light like the tiki drinks. But this one does have citrus. We do have ½ ounce of orange juice, always fresh. This calls for blended Scotch. I don't really drink blended Scotch. I like single malts, but this is just something I had left over, and this is about 1.5 ounces. But we're only going to use 1 ounce of it. You'll see when we fill the cocktail glass, it doesn't even fill it. Maybe I should make a double, but it is the middle of the afternoon and I want to go slow. We're also going to be using Gilka, which is Kumel. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. It's got the umlaut over the U. It's a caraway flavored liqueur, and it is about 78 proof. It's strong, so don't let the caraway flavoring kid you. So as always, start with the juice first. Fresh squeezed juice, ½ ounce of orange juice. One ounce of sweet vermouth. One ounce of Scotch. Funny thing about these is it's not enough for one, but it's not enough for two, but it's too much for one. Maybe we'll have that after dinner. ½ ounce of Gilka Kumel. I'm sure somebody's going to correct me out there, and I would appreciate it because I don't know. Whenever I ask for it, not only can they not find it, but they don't even know what I'm talking about. And of course, a couple of dashes of Angostura bitters. This comes from a book I can't speak highly enough about. I don't have a hard copy because I have it on my iPhone. I bought it like 10 years ago and I refer to it all the time. I've read it at least a dozen times, no joke. It's really an easy read. It's a fun book. Vintage Spirits and Forgotten Cocktails. This cocktail is from 1927. And Ted Haig really knocks it out of the ballpark. He did a tremendous amount of research. The vintage photos are so cool. And it's interesting to see what people were drinking and what their palates were like 100 years ago if you're into mixology, and I obviously am. As always, you want to shake this until you can't hold the shaker anymore because it's so cold that your fingers start to get numb. We get a cocktail coupe out of the freezer, and you probably should double strain this, but let's take a look. Make sure there's no shards of ice in here. As you can see, it doesn't even fill the glass completely, but that's okay. It seems like a fairly light drink, but it's not. It's full ounce of Scotch, full ounce of vermouth, and ½ ounce of this. So these are all pretty strong liquors, with the exception of the vermouth. Of course, the vermouth is 30% or 30 proof, 30 proof, 78 proof, 80 proof. So it's not a weak drink by any means. It's not a weak drink by any means, but let's give it a taste. Cheers. It's very interesting. I can't even compare this to anything. It's like nothing I've ever tasted. I taste the smoky Scotch. I taste this. You taste the vermouth. You can see the vermouth is about half over. I don't like to keep this more than a month. It's been about a month, so maybe it's the vermouth starting to dominate it because the air gets to it and starts to tremendously and drastically change the flavor profile. It's definitely an interesting drink. It's one worth exploring. Can't say that it's my favorite. I would definitely have it again. Always with the fresh orange juice. This is a very interesting liqueur. I did another drink with this called the Allies, which is basically a martini, and you're replacing this, or using this in addition to the vermouth, the dry vermouth, and the gin. And that is your vintage cocktail from 95 years ago. Till next time, cheers.